Hello friends, welcome back to the channel Learn with Art. Now in this video we are going to implement two-dimensional array, that means matrix. For that purpose we have taken array A of size 3 by 3 and will require two variables, that is I and j, for looping purpose. Okay, so we have taken the array of size 3 by 3, so total we are going to accept and print 9 array elements. This will look like this array. Okay, so this will be array of size 3 by 3. First index will represent the row index and second index will represent the column index. Okay, so first it will print instruction enter 3 by 3 is equal to 9 array elements on the screen. After that we have to accept total 9 elements because size of array is 3 by 3. So for that purpose we have taken two for loops, one inside another. Okay, so first I is equal to 0 and I will increment up to I is less than 3, means I will be repeated for 0, 1 and 2. Inside this for we have another loop for j, so j will be incremented again for 3 times, that is for j is equal to 0, j is equal to 1 and j is equal to 2. J is equal to 3, this will not be applicable here because j is less than 3. We have mentioned condition here. Okay, so this loop is going to be repeated for 3 times for j is equal to 0, j is equal to 1 and j is equal to 2. And we have the loop of j inside this loop of I. So how it going to be executed actually? So for the value of I is equal to 0, this loop will going to be repeated for 3 times, means for j is equal to 0, 1 and 2. Again it will increment the counter of I, that is I is equal to 1. So again for value of I is equal to 1, this j will be incremented for 3 times, j is equal to 0, 1 and 2. Next again I will be incremented for 1 and now the value of I is 2. So for value of I is equal to 2, this j will be again repeated for 3 times, j is equal to 0, 1 and 2. So total 9 times this loop, these two loops will be executed. For single value of I, this j will be repeated for 3 times. Okay, so in memory what actually happened, so this I will going to represent the row index and this j will going to represent column index. So for I is equal to 0, for single value of I, these values will be filled up. Again after completion of accepting this whole row, the I will get incremented and the next value for I will be accepted by this scanf function. Okay, so now when I is equal to 1, total j values will be repeated for 3 times. Again after completion of this row, I will be incremented and for this value of I, j will be repeated for 3 times. Okay, so total 9 entries will be filled up and accepted by the user, and same is the case for printing two-dimensional array. So here again we have to print these 9 elements in matrix format. So for that purpose again we will have to use these two for loops, one inside the other. Okay, so for I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus, again inside this I we have the same condition for another index, that is j, and here we want to accept the element, that's why the scanf function is used and it will increment one by one row as well as column index. Okay, so total 9 entries will be filled up. Suppose these 9 entries are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now after completion of these 9 iterations, it will print 2D array is, because now we have just accepted total 9 elements and we want to print this matrix on the screen in the matrix format only. Okay, so while printing these 9 elements in matrix format, we need to print it like we have to first print this row, then this row and then this row. Okay, so for single iteration of I, we have printed /n, or we have used to print /n, and in between these two column elements we have to print /t to get separate these elements. Okay, so after first loop of I have used here printf /n, and in this j loop I have used here /t to get separate each element from the another. Okay, so again here the same code we have used to print elements one by one. So again, I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Instead of this I is less than 3, we can use I is less than or equal to 2 also. Okay, so this loop will going to be repeated for 0, 1 and 2 times, in total 3 times. Okay, because the condition is less than or equal to 2. But in this case, it is 1, I is less than 3. So whenever we have the value of I is equal to 3, it will come out of this loop. Okay, so for value of 3, this iteration will not be completed. It will come out of the loop. Okay, so here instead of scanf, we have used here printf function to print on the element on the screen. Suppose we will see one iteration. Okay, so when value of I is equal to 0, so I is 0 is less than 3, condition satisfies. So now it will move inside this loop. Now the value of j is equal to 0. So j 0 is less than 3, again condition satisfies. So scanf %d ampersand a of value of I is 0 and value of j is 0. Okay, so the first entered element will put at the location a of 0, 0. Okay, so a of 0 means this is row index and this is column index. So it will fill first element at the entry of a 0, 0. Okay, now after this scanf, we don't have any statement to execute. So here the j will get incremented. Okay, so now the value of j is 1. Okay, so here the condition will be checked, that is j is less than 3. So value of j is now 1, 1 is less than 3. So condition satisfies, it move inside the loop. So now the value of j is 1, but the value of I is not incremented. It is 0. Okay, so we have the value of I is equal to 0 and j is equal to 1. So scanf %d ampersand a of 0, 1. So the next entered element will put at the location a of 0, 1. A of 0, 1. So this second element will be placed at the position a of 0, 2. Okay, so again the next element will be put at a of 0, 3 after iteration, complete next iteration. Now next value of j will be 3. So again it will check for the condition 3 is less than 3. Now this time this condition will not be satisfied and it will move outside this loop of j, and outside this loop of j we don't have any statement to print. So it will go to this, and here we have to increment I because this is the for loop for I index. Okay, so now I will get incremented, and now the value of I will be incremented to 1. Okay, so the value of I will be 1. Now it will check for 1 is less than 3, so the condition satisfies and it will move inside the loop. Now again j will be initialized to 0, so the value of I is now 1 and j is again initialized to 0. Okay, so this is the second pass for I index, and j will be assigned to 0 again. Okay, for value of I is equal to 1. Okay, so for value of I is equal to 1, this j loop will be repeated for 3 times, that is 0, 1 and 2 values. And again when the value of j will be 3, so it will come out of the for loop of j, and the value of I will get incremented to 2, and again value of I is equal to 2. This will going to be repeated for 3 times, and next again the value of I will be incremented to 3. So 3 is less than 3, the condition does not satisfy, so it will move outside this loop of I. Okay, so now here we have accepted total 9 elements. So same execution is applicable for these two fors. Okay, just here we have added the printf statement, that is /n, means for single value of I, or we have to print the next 3 elements to the next line. That's why we have added here this /n, and for single iteration of j we have to add /t because we want to add space between these 2 elements. That's why for a single j we have added here this /t. Okay, so this was related to the implementation of 2D array, means we have accepted and printed the 2-dimensional array using for loop. Hope you guys understood. If you have any queries, then please do comment, and never forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.